So many of us spend a ton of time learning about money, right? We read the books, we listen to the experts, we know the right way to save and invest. We basically have the roadmap. But actually walking that path, well, that's a whole different story. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're building that bridge from knowing what to do to actually doing it. We're going to build a real-life money system you can literally start using this Monday morning.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've got the roadmap, you understand the concepts, you know what you should be doing, so why aren't you? What's the holdup? You know, this gap, this space between knowing and doing, that's where almost every single financial plan goes to die.
Turns out this is so common that it actually has a name. It's called the knowledge action gap. And honestly, just understanding this thing is the first real step to finally getting unstuck. So let's break down why it happens.
Okay, so here's the thing. The reasons we don't act have almost nothing to do with how much we know about finance. It's all in our heads. We get paralyzed because looking at our entire financial picture just feels huge, right? It's overwhelming. So we try to fix everything at once, like in one heroic weekend, and we just burn out and give up. Or we tell ourselves we'll start when things are perfect, which, let's be real, never actually happens. And then, underneath all of that, we've got these money scripts, these old stories about money we learned as kids that are running in the background, quietly sabotaging our best efforts.
So listen, if this sounds like you, I need you to hear this. It's not a personal failure. Seriously, if you've struggled to get started, it's not because you're lazy or bad with money, it's because the strategy you've been using is fundamentally broken. It relies on something that is just completely unreliable, sheer willpower.
So yeah, let's just go ahead and dismantle this whole myth of willpower and talk about what actually works. A system.
Think about it this way. Relying on willpower is like deciding to power a cruise ship with a single oar. I mean, sure, it might work for a minute on a perfectly calm day, but the second a storm hits, the second you're stressed or tired or just plain busy, you're completely toast. A system, on the other hand, is the engine of the ship. It's designed to keep chugging along on automation even when you're not thinking about it. It works on your bad days, not just your good ones.
This quote right here just nails it. We love to think that when life gets hard, we'll magically rise to the occasion with some heroic level of discipline. But that's not what happens. We don't rise to the level of our discipline, we fall to the level of our systems. We default to whatever is easiest and most automatic.
So if willpower is the problem, then it's pretty clear that systems have to be the solution. Let's dig into what that actually looks like when it comes to your money. And let's be super clear. When I say system, I don't mean some insanely complicated spreadsheet that takes hours to manage. A real financial system is simple. It's a process specifically designed to work when you are at your worst, when you're tired, busy, and totally distracted. That's the real test. The cool thing is, systems work because they're built on how our brains are already wired. So there was this one study where people had to do a really boring typing task. They found that people finished way faster when the task was broken up, starting with tiny, easy chunks. Why? Because those first few small victories created a wave of psychological momentum. This is the exact same principle behind something like the debt snowball method. You're not demanding motivation from yourself. You're building a system that actually creates it.
All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. This is not about fixing your entire financial life overnight. This is about building a rock-solid foundation. And believe it or not, you can get the most important stuff done in just 2 weeks.
Okay, week 1, your number one goal is not growth, it's stability. Your only job is to remove the panic. That's it. So you'll figure out what your absolute essential expenses are and build a tiny emergency buffer. Even just 1 month's worth is a huge win. That alone stops money from feeling like a 5-alarm fire. Then, in week 2, we simplify and automate. You set up automatic transfers to savings and investments, and it doesn't matter if it's a small amount. The point is it's happening. And then you separate your accounts, creating a clear wall between your everyday spending money and your long-term money.
Now, there is no single perfect system out there. You could use something simple like the 1/3 rule, or maybe you prefer a percentage-based plan like the conscious spending plan. Honestly, the specific numbers are way less important than the main principle. Just having a clear, automated plan for where your money goes. Pick one that makes sense to you and let the system do the heavy lifting. So once that foundation is stable and your key moves are automated, you can finally start to build some real, lasting momentum. This next phase is all about ownership.
We really need to redefine what ownership and investing even mean. It's not about being some stock-picking genius or trying to time the market perfectly. It's actually the opposite.
It's the quiet, consistent, and, let's be honest, kind of boring practice of starting small and just letting time and compounding do all the hard work for you over the years. Now, this next part is a step that almost everyone skips because they're so excited to start growing their money, but it is absolutely crucial. Growth without protection is fragile. It's like building a beautiful house on a foundation of sand. So before you start chasing big returns, you have to protect your system. That means beefing up that emergency fund, staying away from too much debt, and just making sure one bit of bad luck can't send you all the way back to square one.
So where does all this lead? What's the real payoff here? Well, it leads to probably the most powerful psychological reward in all of personal finance.
The whole reason this system actually works and sticks is because it's designed for how we actually behave as human beings. It doesn't fight your psychology, it works with it. It puts key decisions on autopilot so you don't burn out your willpower. And by starting small, it gradually builds that momentum until your progress starts to feel totally inevitable.
Now, let's be real, this is not a get-rich-quick plan. You're not going to feel wealthy in a week. But something way more important happens almost immediately. You feel in control. And that feeling, that sense of control over your financial world is a total game changer. It lowers your stress, and it completely changes the quality of every money decision you make from then on.
And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. Just like your money, that feeling of control begins to compound over time. All those small, consistent actions build this amazing foundation of control, and that control eventually grows into unshakable, genuine financial confidence.
So if you've been feeling stuck, the big takeaway is simple. Stop searching for a newer, more complicated strategy. You don't need that. You just need one clear starting point and one simple system to put on autopilot. Real financial progress doesn't come from knowing more stuff. It comes from applying less, just doing it more consistently. And that is how you finally turn what you know into what you actually do.